Alright folks, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Got up early this morning, went looking for eggs, found nothing. I don't know if I've been a bad boy this year or what. Maybe it was the rain that scared the Easter bunny off, but I was left wanting. So I decided that I would do a new album review, one that's been a long time coming, from the Wildhearts, the Satanic Rites of the Wildhearts. This album was released quite a while ago, a month or so. I ordered my copy through Amazon, who was getting theirs from Amazon UK. And it still hadn't shipped. So I was like, well, I found another seller online, ordered it from them. I think it came less than 2 weeks. I'm trying another new setup here, folks. Bear with me. Bunch of handwritten liner notes in there. I like Ginger Wildheart, the main guy in the Wildhearts. It's pretty much his band, pretty much always been his band. I mean, he's always been the principal songwriter. So this is their 11th album. First one in 4 years. They've gone through quite a few lineup changes over the years. Their debut came out in 1993. Their classic era lineup really only lasted for a couple of years. So it's always been pretty much Ginger Wildheart and whoever he could find to fill in. Bass on this album is done by Jon Poole, who has basically been with Ginger on and off since 2000. He did Silver Ginger 5 with him. He's done some solo albums with him. So he's probably worked with Ginger just as much as anybody else over the years. Then they have Ben Marsden on guitar. He's from Warner E. Hodges, who was best known for playing with Jason the Scorchers, a favorite band of Ginger's. Then you have Kavus Torabi on guitar from the Cardiacs and from Gong. Jon Poole used to be in the Cardiacs too. I don't know if the Wildhearts have ever been a 5-piece, but they do have 2 guitarists on this. 3 if you count Ginger. Ginger plays guitar. And then some guy named Dudge on drums. Now he's listed as Dudge on the album. On Wikipedia, he's listed as Pontus Snib. If you click on the name Pontus Snib, it takes you to Gong, the Gong Wikipedia page. But if you go through all the members of Gong, Pontus Snib is not listed on there. So I don't know what Dudge's deal is. Maybe he changes his name for every album, every year, every project, who knows. So this review, I've thought about how to do it, and I really just have to do it as if you have a general working knowledge of the Wildhearts, because otherwise I would just be saying riff, chord change, more riff, group vocal, harmony, riff, chord change. I mean, if you know the Wildhearts, that's what Ginger does. I mean, intricate songs. I mean, one of their greatest hits is called Riff After Motherfucking Riff, and that's pretty much what every Wildhearts album is. And I actually, there's a point in wanting to bring up all the older albums when I'm talking about this as a reference point for other people who may have gotten off the Wildhearts train over the years for one reason or another. So first up, you got the song Eventually. straight off, this song sounds like it came right off of Earth versus the Wildhearts. And if you notice this, in the debut album, Earth versus the Wildhearts, Ginger is laying in a pool of black muck. Here he's laying in a pool of white muck. And if you can see on his face, he has some lines, red lines on his face. On the Earth versus the Wildhearts debut album, he has barbed wire across his face in the muck. And here it looks like those are the scars left over from that barbed wire on his face. So there is, not to mention that Earth versus the Wildhearts is taken from a movie title, unlike, also like Satanic Rites of the Wildhearts is taken from a movie title. So there's a concerted effort here to let people know that Ginger is hearkening back to what are considered by many to be the glory years of the Wildhearts. So yeah, riff straight out of Earth versus the Wildhearts. And after the third chord change in a minute, Ginger launches into one of his most raw vocal deliveries, probably since Endless Nameless. But Endless Nameless was really more production-wise, giving it that industrial sound that made it sound raw. This is just pure Ginger screaming from his guts. It's also, and then the chorus and pre-chorus, very reminiscent of what you would find on PHUQ. Now, I used to call that album Fuck, but I've heard Ginger mention the album, and he always calls it PHUQ, and he doesn't sanitize his language, so I'm assuming that that's actually what the name of the album is supposed to be. Scared of Glass is your next song. Very reminiscent of what you might find on Fishing for Luckies. It's got kind of a pre-chorus. It's very reminds you kind of a Renaissance Man. And then at the 3-minute mark, you get this bass breakdown, and just for the rest of the song, riff, drums. Not uncommon for what the Wildhearts were known for, just going off for 3 minutes. Riff change, just 3 minutes of jamming. And then the last 50 seconds, there's almost kind of like a choral gospel outro with the band. Troubadour Moon's your next song. Sounds like this was a single, one of many singles. Sounds like it could have come off coupled with. It's got the very Beach Boys, Beatles type chorus that the Wildhearts were known for. When I first got into the Wildhearts, I blind bought the debut album because the hype sticker had 5Ks from Kerrang! Magazine on it. So I bought it and picked it up. And of course, hell, to this day, 99.9 out of 100 people that I run into don't know who the Wildhearts are. But back then, of course, nobody knew who they were. So if I was trying to explain the album to someone, I would say they are the Beach Boys meet Metallica. I come to find out that they were commonly referred to as the Beatles meet Metallica. So I wasn't far off in my assessment. Fire in the Cheap Seats is your next track. Another riff that's very reminiscent of Endless Nameless. Another raw vocal performance from Ginger. And then another chorus and post-chorus harkening back to PHUQ. And then when it gets after the first post-chorus, the verse delivery is he kind of alternates between that raw vocal and the PHUQ vocal for the rest of the song. Now the next song is called Cunts. Now, I know it sounds nasty, but it's spelled Kunts. So I don't think that's what he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about the word that rhymes with cunts, because this isn't spelled the same. But this is just a straight ahead 3-minute screed, straight out of. Could have easily found that on Earth versus the Wildhearts. It's got the signature Wildhearts group chorus. That's followed up by Maintain Radio Silence, another song very reminiscent of Earth versus, with dashes of Fishing for Luckies thrown in there. Another good raw vocal delivery from Ginger. Song finishes up with another riffarama. Drummer going crazy. Dudge does a great job on this album. Everybody does a great job on this album. Blue Moon over Brickburn is the next track. Very Chutzpah Jr.-esque sounding track. Then your next track, number 8, is called Hurt People, Hurt People. I mentioned Silver Ginger 5 earlier with Jon Poole, and this song sounds very much like it could have come up with Silver Ginger 5. If you don't know who Silver Ginger 5 is, it was a group that Ginger formed during one of the numerous breaks that the Wildhearts have taken over the years. It's a great album. It could have easily followed PHUQ as a Wildhearts album. It sounds that close to a Wildhearts album. The next track is called I'll Be Your Monster. Very White Album-esque. Complete with a saxophone breakdown in the song. Then I think the first single, and then the final track on here, on the regular album, is called Failure is the Mother of Success. Another White Album type riff before you get into a Earth versus verse and pre-chorus, before getting back into a White Album chorus. And then at the 3-minute mark, the song completely changes direction and goes into almost a second song that you might find on PHUQ. And then with the last 2 minutes, you get a group vocal harmonizing with some strings in the background. Now I'm sure that that's keyboards, and there are other times when I hear keyboards. There's times when I hear other instruments too. I can't find them listed anywhere on here as far as credits go, but there's definitely strings on there, and there's definitely other parts that have keyboards in them. But nobody's listed as playing keyboards. I know Ginger plays a lot of instruments, so it may be him doing the keyboard work and he just didn't credit himself. Another great track. If you haven't been following along with my rambling and my disjointed references, this is a great album. And the CD comes with a bonus track. It's called Loyola. Another Earth versus the Wildhearts riff, verse, pre-chorus, before it gets into a White Album type chorus. I would say my favorite tracks on this album are probably Eventually, lead off track, Scared of Glass, and I'll Be Your Monster. I mean, all the songs on here are top quality. This is easily 8.75 out of 10. I may be lowballing it. In my opinion, this is the best album Wildhearts have released since PHUQ. It's awesome. So far, it's my album of the year. So if you're a Wildhearts fan and you got off the train for some reason, I would get back on it with this album. This album is very... I mean, if you liked Earth vs. Wildhearts, Fishing for Luckies, PHUQ, you're going to love this album because it harkens back to all of those. Ginger sounds renewed, reinvigorated. The band sounds great. Put aside all your, not the classic lineup. There was never a classic lineup of the Wildhearts. This is a great album. And I heard, I think it was on YouTube, maybe one of Ginger's shorts, they've already written like 11 songs for another album. So he's obviously very inspired with the group that he's got. And if it sounds like this, I'll be a first day buyer anyway. I've always liked everything the Wildhearts have done, but I did have preferred eras, and the first 3 albums were my favorite albums, and this one falls in at number 4, easy. So you guys are going to check it out. Earth versus the Wildhearts. The Satanic Rites of the Wildhearts. 8.75 out of 5. You guys have a good one.